Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar as we're going to be diving into the ABCs of Microsoft Dynamics CRM. My name is Andy Cluck and I'm on the marketing team here at Ledgeview Partners. We're a 2015 Microsoft Dynamics President's Club member and also Microsoft Dynamics CRM Gold Partners. For those of you who are unfamiliar with us, Ledgeview Partners helps businesses transform their approach to sales, marketing, and customer service by aligning those teams to focus on improving their customers' experience and also providing management with metrics through technology to evaluate that success. For today's webinar, we're going to talk about acquiring leads, building relationships, and closing deals. That's what it's all about, and Dynamics CRM is the tool to get you there. Our presenter today is going to show you how marketing, sales, and service are going to work together by utilizing Microsoft Dynamics CRM to create that customer journey that's going to maximize efficiency, productivity, and profitability. But before I turn things over to our presenter to dive into those ABCs, I do want to mention that today's webinar is being recorded, and that's going to be available on demand after the live session today. All attendees are going to receive an email shortly after we close out the webinar, and that's going to have a link to access the presentation on demand. We do encourage you to share this with your team and network as well. To ensure the best audio quality, we do have everyone listen-only mode, but if you do have a question, please submit those in the question pane of your GoToWebinar control panel. We have a lot to cover today in a short time, so we promise to follow up after the webinar to answer any questions that you submit. All right, now it's time to introduce our presenter today, Audra Carlisle. Audra is an account executive here at Ledgeview Partners, and she is a Microsoft Dynamics CRM rock star. She really knows more than I could ever hope to about this great tool, so it's time for me to stop talking and turn it over to her and get on to those ABCs. Audra, take it away.
All right, great. Thank you, Andy. And as Andy mentioned, my name is Audra Carlisle, and I'll be conducting today's presentation. And like Andy said, please post any questions that you have in the Q&A panel. If they're not answered during the duration of today's presentation, we'll follow up with you individually afterwards. So in a world where consumers are increasingly connected with 24/7 access to information, endless options for goods and services, access to the opinions of others about those brands as well as services, the customer experience is an increasingly important ingredient for companies as they win new customers and retain existing. No longer do companies dictate the journey. Their customers will follow, customers do. And customer experience is now a differentiator for brands. With customers always on, empowered with information and choices, and driving their own experience, their expectations for how companies engage them continues to rise. Customers are becoming accustomed to more personalized attention from companies and expect companies to know who they are and what they need across their entire journey. These rising expectations usually create an opportunity for forward-thinking companies that can successfully adapt to changing customer expectations and figure out how to differentiate themselves from competitors. By using technologies such as CRM, predictive analytics, and IoT services, companies can harness the power of information available from devices, people, things, and the web to provide that personalized, proactive, and predictive customer experience that drives long-lasting relationships with their customers built on trust, knowledge, and insight. So let's take a closer look at how Dynamics CRM can help your organization create amazing customer experiences by focusing on the basics or the ABCs of CRM. In today's demonstration, again, we're going to walk through a day in the life of individuals from the sales, marketing, and service teams. The goal is to help give you a better understanding of how CRM can help you zero in, win deals faster, and take care of the customers you have by creating those amazing customer experiences and journeys. Before we jump into the role-based scenarios, I want to highlight a few navigational details for those of you that aren't familiar with Dynamics CRM online. To navigate anywhere within the system, I can select this little 3-bar icon. From here, I can get into the sales, service, and marketing area within the system. Once you're in the particular workload, you can navigate furthermore into those specific areas. I can also go to recently viewed or recently created records within the system by going to the recent items. I can also use the Quick Create to add or create new records right from within the home page. There's also the ability to do a global search, or I can use the Advanced Find. This is a more in-depth search tool that can pull data from within several fields within the system. And each user can also personalize their user experience. So when marketing logs in, they can see the marketing information, and likewise with sales and service. And users can also quickly access CRM help and training resources as well. So let's go ahead and jump into marketing with Dynamics CRM. In this scenario, we're going to work in the day in the life of a marketing manager. In this section, we'll cover the ability to manage campaign activities that will help generate new leads, qualify leads, and assign leads for follow-up. As a marketing manager, you can start your day in the dashboard. This is information that's specific to you, your role, and helps you prioritize your day. So from here, we have some marketing KPIs within this dashboard example that we have set up. So we can see the different campaigns that we have running, what type of campaigns they are. I can also see campaign budget versus the actual cost and where I'm at for marketing spend this year. I can also have charts of information that show me leads that are being generated from these campaigns. And then most importantly, being able to quickly access the revenue that these campaigns that I've launched and what they're driving for the organization. Now that I have a good pulse on what's going on in the marketing area, I want to take a closer look at the leads that we have within the system. Leads are cold prospects, someone that hasn't done business with you before and they're just starting their customer journey. And leads can get into the system in a few different ways. One is using the tightly integrated, powerful Outlook integration option. You can manually create a new lead from scratch, or there's also import features within Dynamics CRM that you can import a list of leads. So perhaps you've been to a trade show or you've purchased that list. So here we can see we have quite a few open leads. From here, what I want to do is I want to create a targeted marketing list. The marketing list will allow me to segment the data. So again, in this example, we're going to create one targeting all leads. We can go ahead and give this list a name. We can select a list type, and this is a static list or a dynamic list. The difference is a static is essentially a one-time list pull, where the dynamic list is living, breathing. So anytime new leads enter the system, they will dynamically or automatically get added to the system. And then again, we'll want to set who we're targeting. And in this example, we're looking at leads. Once I have that set up, I can go ahead and save. And then I'll want to add members to this list. So I can go in and manage members. And similar to the Advanced Find, where you can search and query against any of the data or fields within the system. So again, I'm targeting all leads, and I just want to make sure that the status of them is listed as open. And then we can go ahead and use this query. And you can see there, just automatically or in the midst of a few seconds, all of the leads have been added to this marketing list for me. Now that I have my list set up, I could utilize what's called the Quick Campaign. A Quick Campaign is a communication method that creates a single activity for distribution to a group of contacts or leads or to a single marketing list in this example. So it could be a quick campaign for a phone call or a letter maybe that you want to send this list. Or the other option I have is to create a campaign. A campaign supports an end-to-end marketing program that will likely have multiple activities or events associated with them. So since we have a significant amount of leads in the system, I've decided to host an event to help generate new business and opportunities. So I will need to go ahead and set up a campaign. And here you can see we've already have quite a few that are either proposed or launched. I'm going to go ahead and use this Q1 regional event. So we can take a closer look at the features in Dynamics CRM that are going to help me plan, manage, and track my marketing activities to make this event a success. So in here we can set up our targeted marketing list. I'm going to go ahead and add the one that we just created to make sure that they receive all the information or updates on this event. And then down below here, we can also see the related campaign activities that go into making this event a success. So we can track things like creating an email nurture campaign, website landing pages. And once each one of these activities are created, you can assign them to individuals for follow-up. And throughout the duration of the campaign, I can always pull a quick campaign performance report. And these reports you can actually use anywhere within the system, but this one's specific to this particular marketing campaign. So now that we've reviewed the campaign activities that have made this event a success, let's look how we can use Dynamics CRM to make the most of the leads that we've generated and get our sales team involved. So as you start planning your events and activities, you can track responses for this event. So in here, we've already have a couple of people that have started raising their hand and started that journey with us. So what we can do then is go ahead and take a closer look at this response for Darren Parker and open up his lead record. So from within the lead, we can see, we can track what the lead source is. We can give this a rating. And then we can also see who the owner of this lead is. So it looks like Krista from our marketing team. One way to help create those consistent customer journeys is using this business process flow. So if you have standard sales marketing procedures, you can have those steps set up here. And again, that creates a consistent experience for whichever customer and any team member that they're working with. So we can see within the business process flow, our first stage is to qualify. So we need to make sure if this is an existing contact or account, we track that information. And perhaps you're tracking, purchase timeframe information up front as well. And then we can also see any other specific information for Darren, maybe what particular products he might be interested, and then all of that personal email, phone information. I can also create new activities. So maybe I need to qualify this lead, and I want to give them a quick phone call. And then I can set whether we left a voicemail or not, and then just go ahead and select OK. And then that phone call record will be completed, and you can see who it was completed by. So now after hosting the event, having this quick call to qualify the lead, ultimately where we end up with a lead is to qualify or disqualify based on our marketing efforts. Based on my last conversation with Darren and their urgency for purchasing, I'm going to go ahead and qualify this lead so our sales team can work on developing the opportunity. So up here I can either qualify or disqualify. This example, we'll go ahead and qualify. And it will automatically convert that lead right into the opportunity. And from here, I can either have a workflow set up that will automatically assign to a sales rep, or I can just go in and manually assign this to the sales rep for follow-up. So now that we've completed this, we've assigned it to the individual sales rep. We're going to take off the marketing hat and put on the sales hat. Let's go back to our home page, and we're going to start within the sales and dashboard. So in this sales scenario, we will cover the ability to continue to build those relationships with customers on their journey, track and manage opportunities, and close deals. Just like marketing, the sales reps can start their day within the dashboard feature of CRM. Then you can have charts of information or even lists. In this particular sales one, we have a listing of a sales funnel. Sales reps can also see maybe if you have goals set up with the system and where they're tracking quarterly, any open leads, opportunities, and then they can also see how they're tracking against the rest of the sales team within the sales leaderboard. What's nice within the dashboard feature of Dynamics CRM is you can also interact with this data in real time. So if I wanted to take a closer look within the sales funnel and see what's maybe at the bottom part of the funnel, so just by selecting that area, It automatically filters that information down for me. So before digging into an opportunity that marketing has delivered to the sales team, I want to go ahead and look at the account record just to make sure if there's anything else going on within the account that I should be aware of. So I can either scroll down or I can also use this alphabet bar to quickly jump to related records. So here's my Fabricam account. So just like within the lead entity, you have the fields of information that you can quickly access and view. So from here, I can see any recent activities that have taken place. If there are multiple contacts within this account, I have insights and information into that. I can also see if there's been any recent cases. So again, before calling in on an opportunity, if there's any major open items, I can see if customer service is working on something. And again, within the account view, it gives you that 360-degree view. So you can really align all teams from sales, marketing, as well as service. So it doesn't look like there's anything too major within the recent cases. So I'm going to jump down to all of my recent opportunities. So here we can see the status of these opportunities, whether they're won, lost, or open. And again, as a sales rep, I'm going to go ahead and open up this opportunity so I can start closing the business for this month. Within the opportunity, again, it's up to the individual sales rep to keep this information up to date. So we can go ahead and update the estimated close date, and we'll remain positive that this is going to close this month. The estimated revenue, you'll notice that this field is actually locked down. So you can either use a price list where it will lock this down, and based on the price list that you're adding to it, it will automatically update it, or you can manually update this. So you have the options of how you want to set that up. And then you can add in other lists of information like probability. And then again, within the opportunity, just like we had within the sales stages, that business process flow. So within the opportunity, we can develop that. Here's the specific steps to complete that, as well as the proposal stage. And then again, you can have different fields of information that might be relevant to your business that you'd want to add within the forms that you can easily do as well. But where a majority of the forecasting and pipeline information comes into play, like I mentioned, is you can have the ability to add in product line items. So if I add in a new existing product, you can go ahead and do a quick lookup, and we'll say we're going to sell them this particular laptop. And once that's added to the quote, I can update the quantity. And by updating the quantity, you'll notice that the estimated revenue will also change. So if I add in 10 of this item, it will go ahead and update the estimated revenue. And then within Dynamics CRM, there's also the ability for suggestions. So building in the ability to upsell and cross-sell. So adding more of a suggestive selling to the process. And once you have your product line items added, you also have the ability to create quotes for customers right within Dynamics. So we can go ahead and add a new quote to this particular opportunity. And then there's also the ability to create Word templates or report templates that you can automatically print and mail to the customer or email to them directly as well. But when the quote is created, you'll notice it automatically creates a quote ID. It'll also keep track of any revisions. We just want to go ahead and validate all the information on here. So you can see if there's any particular errors, make sure that's updated. And then once that is active, you can go ahead and close that particular quote. And then you can see here if there's multiple revisions, the status of those quotes, it'll keep track of all that information throughout the duration. And ultimately, with an opportunity, it's either closed as won or lost. So we'll go ahead and, again, just like with the qualification from the lead to the opportunity, After many proposal meetings and quotes we've sent to this customer, we're going to go ahead and close this opportunity as one. You notice it's automatically bringing in the actual revenue, updating the actual close date, and then if you're tracking competitor information, it can also bring that information in as well. Then we can go ahead and hit OK. And then once that opportunity is closed, it will go into the closed bucket of all opportunities in the system. Another question that comes up a lot within the sales is the ability to do reporting. So we saw from within the dashboard how you can easily create a funnel of information. You can also have inline charts and visualizations anywhere within the system. So similar to that funnel we saw, we can view that within the opportunities area. Otherwise, you can also run a report like we saw within the campaign performance. You can do similar with the opportunities. So if you want to see a competitor win-loss, or again, an all-up sales pipeline, you can do that as well. However, one of the really cool new features that within Dynamics CRM that I really like is the ability to have what are called Excel templates. So in this particular example, we can create one for this pipeline management, and I can either download this to Excel or I can just open an Excel online. Again, for those of you that are visual, it creates automatically all of these views and lists of information. So you can see the opportunity pipeline, the win-loss by customers, sources, and then down below it will show you all of the particular opportunities too that are also making up this pipeline report. So there's a ton of capabilities from reporting, features, and capability standpoint. So now that we've taken and qualified a lead, we've closed the opportunity as one, and we've reviewed the reporting options, it's really now about making sure our customers are satisfied with our products and services during their journey. We're going to take off the sales hat now and put on customer service. During this scenario, we're going to make sure that the customer journey is consistent, as it has been with sales and marketing, to ensure any issues are taken care of for this customer. We can look at case statistics and track and follow up with customers, and then manage caseloads with queues. So what I'm showing here is what's called the Interactive Service Hub. Much like the dashboard feature, this is designed to simplify the day-to-day for of your job, and it's specifically optimized for customer service. It shows you all your vital information in one place and lets you focus on the things that require your attention. So in this particular example, I'm looking at a Tier 2 dashboard. You can have multiple views open, but I can also have cases by priority, what products are related to, kind of that charting dashboard information. If I want to drill down into any of the high priority cases, I can select that, and again, it will filter that information down for me. So from the Service Hub, I can see our team is still working to solve quite a few cases. I'm most concerned by the cases with the high priority graph that we just narrowed down, which shows that we have about 3 cases still sitting here. From here, what I could do is I could go ahead and I could route this to, I could add it or route it to a queue. And queues are what I call holding areas of information. These holding areas need some type of action or follow-up and give the ability to allow multiple people to work on them. So in this case, let's just go ahead and open up this case. And we can see here again who this is for. So back to that Fabricam account, we can see that the priority for this is high, and maybe during the duration that could change. You still have the ability to go in and change that information. Maybe this is now critical. You can see when that was created on and who from the service team is working on that. And once the case is created, the system will automatically create a case ID for you. And this number might be something you email to the customer, have a workflow set up to send the customer an email when the case is assigned, who it's been assigned to, and their case ID. So if they call in to the customer service team, they can easily find the information and track down that for them. And then we can see what the subject is, where this origin. So if you're tracking information coming in from any social sites like Twitter or Facebook, so you can have the multiple sources that you can be reporting on. Timelines, so you can see any of the activities that have gone into resolving this case. If I want to create a new phone call, I can do that from right here. And give that a topic, and then we can go ahead and make sure that that gets added to the case as well. We can also see other specific details, different layout. If this customer has any SLAs that have been assigned to them, that can also be tracked within the case as well. So finally, we've made it to the end of the case with many phone calls and emails with this client. We can go ahead and update any of the summary information, but we can either close or cancel this case entirely because maybe there wasn't anything wrong, it was a customer error, or we can go ahead and resolve this case. So over here in this right-hand section, you can go ahead and resolve. And from here, we can give this a resolution. So we solved the problem. There can be a time tracking set up within the system. So once that case is created, it will keep track of that total time. Or you can go in and also just manually enter if there's any billable time for this particular case. And once that case is completed, then we can go ahead and resolve, and it will take it out of that high priority case within the system. And then that way, the sales team can start working on another case. So just in a quick 30 minutes, that concludes the ABCs of the Dynamics CRM webinar. To help you get started with creating amazing customer experiences and aligning your sales, marketing, and customer service teams, there's a few helpful tips for next steps. Again, what we've covered is just a very high-level overview, so I would recommend scheduling a deep dive demo into any of the areas of the solution that we've touched on today, or things like mobile, field service, and portal capabilities. There's also a free 30-day trial. If you have additional questions, I'll make sure that my contact information is left up on the screen at the end. Otherwise, please utilize the Q&A panel within the GoToWebinar as well. Last but not least, I'd like to point you into some helpful additional resources that we do have available on our website at ledgeviewpartners.com. You can go out to our blog. Some very helpful resources, a resource for adding new content to it daily. Sign up for upcoming events. You can also review our CRM video library that has previously recorded events. And then you can also see other customers that we've worked with and review some CRM success stories. So thank you again for attending today's session, and we look forward to speaking with you soon.